Hey folks, welcome back to the 74 Challenger restoration. Okay, kicking the dust off this. It's been a little bit, but just got busy with other things. So we have one last panel to deal with before we start sandblasting and painting this guy, and that is this rear valance panel here. So I just have it clamped on here for now, so we can kind of get a rough idea, but basically the gist of it is we need to get this gap in here closed up. So this panel will get pressed up somewhere around there, and I need to get this quarter panel pressed over to meet it. Now if you remember from way back, I never did any of the finish welding on this panel itself. I just left it so that I'd have the flexibility to move this around. It was never welded to the trunk pan extension drop down. I knew that's because this thing would need to be manipulated. Alright, so I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do this yet. Both sides need to be pulled in. Let me see if I can get underneath and show you a little better. Okay, this should make a little bit more sense. So here you have your trunk pan extension, drops down, and it needs to meet up with this quarter panel, but the two need to, everything needs to kind of join up so that this joint is nice and tight. So we need to get the quarter pulled in, and that way there we can do the final welds along this trunk pan extension, and then that will hold the quarter in place, and this valance is just bolted onto this. So we have these tabs here, right, and they need to get lined up with that tab up over there, but we're quite a ways off. So I need to figure out a way to get this thing pushed over without damaging it, and yeah, same for the other side. Alright, I'm gonna figure this out. Alright, this seems to be working well. I have a ratchet strap hooked up to the gas tank bracket, and I've just clipped it into this where the bolt hole's gonna go, and I'm just pulling this thing over. It's kind of bending it over. I've already moved it over quite a bit, so I'm just gonna do this a couple more times until I can get everything lined up over there. Okay, this gap is starting to come together. I have the bottom at a reasonable gap width there, but then it starts to get a little bit tight up at the top. So what I need to do is kind of get onto the back side of the trunk pan extension here, which is going to push up against the quarter, and I'm just going to try and knock this back a little bit. So I've got my air hammer with a flat end on it, and I'm just going to get in there and work that thing back and open up that gap a little bit there. I'm just going to gently tap this back in just a bit. Trying not to mark this up. Okay, the gap is consistent, so that's good. I think I'm going to leave it there before I muck things up too much. Okay, now that we have that valance in place, what we're going to do is come along and we're going to spot weld this whole thing, and then hopefully that stays mostly in place. It should once it's secure. I'm going to drill these out just a hair bigger, and that'll clean up the underside a little bit too, so we get some good contact. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Weld this up and then we're done. All right, that came together real nice, and as you can see, it's holding in place. So now all I have to do is, once I'm done painting, that'll bolt right up into place. All right, next job I have to finish off is coming around here, and there's a couple of spot welds in here that I left as well. So I need to just come back around in this area and finish up a couple spot welds, and then that's it. This rear valance section is done. Okay, that came together nice. Finally have this lower section of the quarter panel fully welded. I came in around the tail light section, got that all welded up. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for panels. I'm gonna do some test fitting with the front quarters. I gotta gap everything at some point, but that might have been the last panel that I needed to take care of. Just trying to think what else. What else is on the list here? What do I got here? Fill, oh yeah, the oil drill holes. Door dent, I got a new door skin for that. The roof, I got to solid weld that. Front suspension pinholes, that's going to be after I sandblast. Oh yeah, the console and the seat brackets. I got to get those guys welded on still. Test fit all panels, fill all the screw holes, grind all spot welds, torque boxes. I got to make torque boxes. I forgot about that. All right, list is getting smaller though. All right, there we have it in place. It's looking pretty good. Fitment's reasonable. This side could use a little bit of tweaking whenever I start lining up all the body gaps. It's sticking out a little bit too much. I'll need to pull that quarter out a little bit more. But anyway, one more thing off the list. Alright, thanks for tuning in, folks. Hope you enjoyed this one, maybe learned a little bit. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.